Hola, hola, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Paloma, and in this video, I'm gonna be teaching you 5 different styles of dance to impress your Latina girlfriend. So if you have a girlfriend that loves to dance, or you're just always caught at the family function not knowing how to dance, this video is for you. The styles that I'll be going over in this video are Bachata, Salsa, Norteñas, Merengue, and Cumbia. I'm gonna briefly go over each style with the most basic steps. So if you're just a beginner, this video is definitely catered to you. And throughout the video, I'll also drop little tips here and there about each style of dance, just so we can get you better prepared for the dance floor. Before we also jump in, I also wanna remind you that practice is your best friend. I can teach you all day long, but if you guys don't practice at home or outside of watching this video, please do so, because that'll ultimately help you in your dancing overall. And if there's any dance style or different genre that you guys want me to go over in another video, let me know down below as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Bachata is a very more sensual type of dance, but there's obviously different styles of dancing it depending on where you're from. But I'm gonna just teach you the most basic step, just so you have an idea and a basic understanding of what that rhythm is in bachata. I like to think of bachata in 4 counts. So we're just gonna go ahead and take 4 steps to our right or left. It doesn't matter which way you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm gonna go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice, on the 4th step, I'm not putting my entire foot down flat. I'm just tapping it with the point of the ball of my foot, okay? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanna kind of relax your knees a little bit, and if your hips naturally want to move, you can go ahead and do that too. It's really not a make or break if a guy doesn't really know how to move their hips. But if it feels natural to you, go ahead and do it. So it looks more 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I do move my hips, I'm thinking of like the infinity sign. And I always move my hips first in the direction that I'm going to. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's watch from the back. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that on the 4th step, I'm also just lightly tapping, and I'm not doing this. What I don't want y'all doing is the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That just don't look right. I also don't want y'all doing the whole TikTok bachata dance, the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also a big no. If you want to move your body, let it be naturally in your arms or in your hips, like I had mentioned before. And when you dance with a partner, your hands always go underneath the girl's hands, okay? Because that way you're able to lead and can turn her or move her in the direction that you guys want to go. And obviously the 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, the speed of that will depend on the tempo of the song. Obviously, if it's a slower song, you're gonna feel it more and move a lot slower. And if it's a faster song, you're obviously gonna do the steps a little faster. One last thing that I also want to mention is that in bachata, even though, as I'm showing you guys, the 4 steps, your steps don't have to be big like this. If anything, since you guys are starting out, try to keep them a little small, just so it also allows you to naturally have your body more relaxed, instead of taking big steps where it's it'll look a little awkward. If it helps, try to keep your steps small, almost in place, and it'll also allow your hips to kind of like naturally move a little bit. So let's go ahead and see it with music. The next style that I want to show you guys is salsa. Salsa is definitely a lot different than bachata. Salsa can be danced by yourself or with a partner as well. Salsa can go from very basic to very complicated moves, just like most styles of dance as well. The way I'm going to be teaching you guys is how I was taught. So it's going to be a 3 count instead of a 4 count like we did with bachata. And then with bachata, you notice that the way I taught you guys, it's very much like in a horizontal line. With salsa, we're going to be moving forward and back, okay? I'm going to recommend that you guys start with your right leg. So we're gonna step forward, middle, and then back. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, right? So I did right, left, right, and then left, right, left. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And each time I bring my foot back to the middle, there is a slight pause. This slight pause is very important because if you don't do this pause, you will kind of go off beat. So let's see it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. Another way that I've been taught, if it's easier for you guys, is you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but you notice that there's still a pause there. So let's go back to the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you go 1, this foot is kind of already coming up. So let's watch that again. So 1, 2. Okay? So, and on the 1, I'm stepping completely flat. Okay? So let's see it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the back foot, the one that goes back, I'm just kind of like tapping the back with the ball of my foot. I'm not completely stepping back like this. Okay? So it's just a slight tap. So let's watch it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. And if you notice the right foot, when on the 3, it's kind of like, it's not a full step. It's kind of just like I'm marking the beat there. So we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you practice 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Definitely pick up your feet and mark the steps well. Once you get more into the rhythm of things and once you start practicing a little bit more, your steps don't need to be as high. So right now I'm teaching you guys 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's almost like I'm marching, but once you practice a little bit more, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, practice is your best friend. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice how my steps are not that pronounced and they're more smooth, if that makes sense. Let's look at it from the back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Same thing with bachata. You don't have to like overly extend each step. They can be little baby steps as long as you're marking the rhythm. Especially when a faster salsa song comes on, you don't want to take big steps because it'll take you longer to step back, and again, you'll fall behind the beat. Once you get your steps down, you definitely want to start using your whole body and kind of feel the music a little bit more. So let's see this step with some music. Now moving along with Norteñas. Norteñas are really popular right now, especially if you live in Texas, where I live, where that's pretty much like all they play. It's not a baile without Norteñas, and it's probably like the most, dare I say, the most listened to genre in the Mexican community, just because there's classics, there's new Norteñas, so it's a very popular genre. With Norteñas, it's pretty easy. The way I explain it to people is you're basically going to be walking on beat to the music. So when you walk, when I say walk, you're going to have your knees a little bit bent and basically be walking forward and be walking backward. It's kind of like salsa in that sense. We're just going to be going forward and back. And if you want to go a different direction, you're just going to turn your body while still stepping on beat with the music. Notice how my knees are not completely bent like this, but they're not like super straight. They're just very relaxed. With Norteñas, there's a lot of different styles that people dance them, but again, this is just the basics, just so you can get your foot in the door and kind of practice on your own as well. So like I said, we're going to be going forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4 steps, but just make sure you have your forward and backward step and you're gonna kind of like let your body relax. If your hips want to move side to side a little bit, let them. It looks more natural so you don't look as stiff as well when you're dancing with a partner. But this is pretty much the basic of Norteñas. A lot of people tend to pick up their feet like I'm doing now when you dance Norteñas. Some people like to more so slide their feet. It also kind of depends where you're dancing. Obviously, if you're dancing out in a ranch, you don't want to be sliding your feet. You'll ruin your boots that way. But if you do want to slide, it's the same thing. So if you hear, my feet kind of stay closer to the ground for sure. When you dance Norteñas with a partner, as the guy, you want to make sure that your right hand is around the girl's back. Make sure as well that if they have their hair loose, like how mine is, that your hand is underneath the hair, because when you're dancing and you move a certain way, you might end up pulling it on accident, and that's just very uncomfortable for the girl. Your left hand is going to be the one that's kind of leading. You'll need both hands for sure, but the left hand is going to be as far as like where you're going, it'll be your left hand. And the left hand, you don't want to keep way out here or keep super close or super high, especially if the girl is short. You'll kind of just want to keep it here, kind of close to your body, like just whatever feels natural. If the girl is shorter, obviously lower your hand for her. Don't have her, be dancing on her tippy toes if she doesn't need to. And you're going to be doing the same thing, holding her back and then just taking those steps. Notice how I'm kind of turning as well. Like I said, Norteñas are not really a straight line forward and back. You can for sure practice that way, but when you're on the dance floor, you're gonna be possibly bumping into people, so make sure that you're able to walk on beat, like I said, in all different directions. Another thing with Norteñas, when you're dancing with a partner, make sure that you are not like this, because then that makes your partner feel like they're carrying you, especially after a long time of dancing. Make sure your back is straight. If the girl is short, or if your partner is short, just bend your knees a little bit more, just so she, again, does not have to be on her tippy toes the entire time trying to reach for your hand or trying to keep up with your step. With Norteñas, there's obviously songs with a faster beat and some songs with a slower beat, so that'll obviously affect your step. You don't have to take big steps here either. If you want to, you can. I've seen it done many times, especially if the guy is taller. Obviously, because he's taller, he tends to take bigger steps. But if you want to keep it short here and kind of more closer, you can do that too. Another thing, speaking of close, don't have your partner be so far away from you, because then it kind of gets hard to lead her. So have her be not like smothered up against you, but like pretty close to where you can comfortably lead her. Now with the left hand, like I said, if you are doing a circle or turning, kind of pull your hand, like if I'm dancing with my partner, kind of pull your hand a little bit this way, just so she knows, oh, we're going in that direction. There are more steps to the Norteña style, but I just wanted to leave you guys with the basics in this video, so let's go ahead and see it with the music. The next style we're going to be teaching is Merengue. Merengue is a fun one, I think, because you can do so much to it. It's just a really basic beat, and also I think a really basic step in comparison to the other ones. Like I said, you can do a lot with it, but I'm going to just be showing you the basic one. With Merengue, you're going to be kind of, I describe it as like marching in place on beat. Again, this could be danced alone or with a partner. So when I say marching in place, I literally mean marching in place. And obviously you're going to be doing this either slower or faster depending on the tempo of the music. But when you march in place, every time that you step, you're going to be pushing your hip out to one side. Merengue is a lot of hips, and you're going to keep your arms more so relaxed. Women tend to keep them more up here, but with guys, you can just kind of keep them wherever feels natural to you guys. You're going to really push your hips out to the side. I would recommend it when you're starting out, just so your body's like, okay, we got to push out to the side. What you can do, especially if you've never danced this before, is basically stand in place and just bend your knees, and you see how your hips naturally just want to move to the side. That's kind of the same thing. So except instead of just bending your knees, you're going to pick up and then stick out your hip to the side. And that's basically it. Like I said, there's a lot of turns that you can do in merengue, but for now, I would just focus on the marching and the step. If you notice, my arms naturally want to move kind of like to the opposite side of where, like, if I stick out my hip on this side, then my arms go this way and vice versa, okay? So that's basically pretty much merengue. You can add a lot more sauce to it if you want, make it more kind of like smooth, or you can make it very like pronounced. It's really up to you guys. Like I said in the beginning, you definitely have to learn to feel the music. So if the music is just telling you to be more smooth with it or take little steps or maybe bigger steps, definitely do whatever feels right in that moment. But like I said, just focus on the marching and the sticking out of the hip. So let's go ahead and watch this with music. And the last style that I'm going to teach you guys today is Kumbia. It is my personal favorite. I think Kumbia is very dynamic. You can do so much with Kumbia. There's different styles of Kumbia, but I'm just going to be teaching you one simple style that I learned. We're going to kind of keep that same line, if you will. Kumbia can be danced forward and back as well as side to side, but for now we're just going to keep it kind of side to side like we did with Vachata. I'll show you the step first and then I'll go slowly. So you're going to kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4. Right now I am taking bigger steps just because I want you guys to identify each step, but when you actually dance it, make sure you take a little bit smaller steps. Again, kind of like what I said with salsa, you don't want to take a huge step and it be a fast song and you get behind the beat. So let's see this from the back. So I'm going to kick, 2, and when I put 2 down, I kind of put it a little bit behind me just so this foot can step kind of in front of it. So I'll show you from the side first actually. So kick, 2, 3, 4. And that 4 meets up with this foot, okay? So let's do it again. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. If you notice in the kick, there is a little bit of bend in the knee. That's also because when you're dancing cumbia, there's a slight pause there, kind of how like I was explaining in salsa. It's just kind of like a step, a beat that's not really there. So, and you'll hear it when you go in cumbia, so make sure that you are acknowledging that pause there. So let's go again. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. Kick, 2, 3, 4. And again, I am exaggerating like the bend of the knee and the kick just because I want you guys to see the steps clearly. Now, when you get a hang of this sequence, you're obviously going to speed it up with the music, depending on the tempo, or slow it down even. So once it's a little bit more sped up, again, your steps will become smaller so you can keep up with that beat. So it goes kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4. If you notice, once I do speed it up and take smaller steps, this foot is not going completely over it. It's just kind of meeting close up next to it, okay? So kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4. Let's see it from the back. So we have kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4, kick, 2, 3, 4. Again, with this particular step, practice, 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 practice. So once it's time for you to learn the turns, you're not even thinking about what your feet are doing because they're already moving on their own with the music. So let's go ahead and watch this one with music. Alright guys, I hope this video helped a lot of you guys out. Please let me know if you guys have any questions down below, or if there's any other style that you want me to go over, please let me know and I'll be happy to do so. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!